All right, we're live and ready. Nice script like that for the logo. All right, now let's get started. Let me just make sure that share live, and I'm good to go. Just dreading what I have to discuss.
Are awful.
All right,
Did win 50 on the Ravens under though.
that's nice.
Something.
Oh, your picks. Jesus Christ.
No, it's so bad.
I guess at least you get like one a week.
It's 1 and 2 every week. I'm very consistent.
Yeah, you are. All
I
right,
like the font.
thanks. A
Very
little
Christmassy.
whimsical, yeah. All right, let's get this shit on the road.
Cup of coffee.
Yep. All right, getting started. 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the saddest episode of the Wise Guys podcast. Here with my co-host Chris Hagan.
You didn't even introduce yourself.
No, I'm your host Brady Fitzgerald. You know how this goes.
We
Well,
just jump right into our stuff, or should we
no, yeah. Let's skip the
run it
wise
to the
picks for
end?
now. We'll go right into what we need to talk about. You go first. I don't want to go first.
All right.
You were there in person.
I made my return FedEx Field. First time in 4 years. It was exciting until about 8:20 when the game started, and from that point on, it was an utter disaster. I apologize for my voice as well, a sore throat, and I was screaming the other night. But my team is dead. Just they were not ready to play. They got dominated in basically every facet of the game. Outcoached, outplayed on offense, on defense. The Giants are terrible. This Giants team is just not very good, but they didn't make any mistakes. Meanwhile, the Commanders fumbled twice, kept taking stupid penalties. Um, you can blame it on the refs if you want to. I don't care. If they score the touchdown, get the 2 point, then they would have to win in overtime, which they probably wouldn't have anyway. They deserve to win. Um, Heineke, he is what he is at this point. The offensive line is terrible. The play calling was horrible. He gave Brian Robinson the ball 12 times. He ran for 90 yards, and they just stopped using him. It's like they'd run it twice with him, and then like, all right, that's enough. That's enough of Brian Robinson. Warren, it's like they started going to him, and then again, ease him out of the game for no reason. Daniel Jones did not complete a pass. He wasn't. He had to make any sort of read. Every pass that he completed was snap the ball, previous play action, boom, somebody's open right away. And they just refused to press up for at least 2 whole quarters. Gave up a 97-yard drive, including a 4th and 9 that the Giants went for. Couldn't get a stop on that. So all around shit show. I like. There's no one to even blame. It's just the whole team.
You're breaking up. I don't know if it's on your end or my end, but yeah,
All
it
right, yeah,
was.
it was mine.
All right, you're good. You're back to it now. Was not a good Sunday night. Uh,
No, it wasn't. I think the other thing that sucks about it is I think there were a lot of people in my situation that hadn't been to a game in a while and decided, you know what, like time to get excited. Biggest home game they've had in a while. We'll make our return. For them to come out like that is disheartening. It really is. But
you had two
it's what I'm
weeks.
used to. You
You had 2 weeks, and you scored 12 points.
know,
Uh, it's just. I mean, I'm not doing this to put you down anymore. Like we're both down in the dumps right now. So there's no need to go about. I'm just speaking of what's happening. And you had the Giants. It was 2 weeks ago. You guys should have been the most prepared team in the NFL this week,
mm,
and you couldn't even pressure Daniel Jones. You couldn't do anything against him. Saquon, we were talked about how he was dead for 2 weeks now, or for like 5 weeks now. Sorry, and of course now he's back.
mm.
It
It
was
was
just
really like Barkley didn't even have that good of a game. He had the one drive, and
yeah.
after the Heineke fumble, when they needed a stop, they handed up the middle to Barkley 3 times in a row, 3 straight first downs. They're like, "Are you kidding me? Like, what do you think that they're gonna do right here?" Barkley's getting the ball, and they could not stop it. That was the story of the game. Is every time they needed to make a play, failed. Every time.
On both sides of the ball.
Sides of the ball. Yep.
Yep. The Yeah, and you could blame you were avid on Twitter, like blame the penalties all you want, or the non-called penalties all you want, but they didn't deserve to win that game. They weren't in it. The Giants, honestly, I mean, they should have had more points, and it should have been far from over, or no, sorry, far from close. And they come in I will give you this though, the scary Terry thing, like it's pretty ridiculous. It's almost
But
like
the non or the flag that they threw
yeah, the flag that they instantly flew. He tried to ask if he was lined up correctly, and
happens on every play.
they,
It
they,
was
they,
weird, and like
the guy was
I guess the
waiting to throw the
explanation
flag.
is at when he gave him the thumbs up, he was either like telling him to move up with his thumb like that, or he was like counting the guys on the field. But Harry also said that he gave him verbal confirmation. He said something. You're right. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it's weird. It's almost like your owner has beef with the NFL.
Oh yeah, it's crazy how that works.
Right?
You don't get good calls
Yeah.
when
When the
you have a
season is on the
scumbag
line.
owner.
So where do
Yeah.
you go from here?
I almost hope that they don't make the playoffs. I don't want to just limp into the playoffs. Like I don't know. Then they can say that they made the playoffs when they don't deserve it. Obviously, like if they make the playoffs, I will enjoy them being in the playoffs for like a week when they get until they get stomped by San Francisco. But
So right
they're in
now,
trouble.
they have a 35% chance to make it.
Yeah.
They basically have to. If they lose to San Francisco, it goes down to 20. They'd have to go what 2-3 or
You
1-2, 2-1. Sorry,
have to
two and
go
one.
2-1,
Yeah.
and the Lions and the Seahawks would have to go 2-1 as well. They control their own destiny.
That's almost
As
worse.
long as you're even with the Lions and Seahawks, you're fine.
Yeah, that's almost worse though. Controlling your own
Yeah.
destiny. You want to put the destiny in their hands? We just saw what
All
happens when
right.
you put destiny in their hands.
And the Lions have the Panthers, the Bears, and the Packers remaining. We have the Niners, the Browns, and the Cowboys.
Man, the Lions, they're gonna win out.
Might.
They're gonna go with 10-7, and that
That
puts
would
them.
be nuts.
That would be nuts. Their turnaround. I mean, we'll get to them later, but they started 1-6. Now here they are 7-7.
Mhm.
Pretty impressive. All
Well,
right. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even watch this game. That's how bad my loss was. I retired on football for the day. I almost retired till playoffs, and I was just gonna make it up on the spot for the next 2 weeks. or 3 weeks on the pod, but I got a pod to run here. I can't do that. But you frozen again? Come on, Chris. How come your home Wi-Fi is always worse? Hello? Damn it. All right. Well, I don't know if he's done with the Commanders or not, but it was a pretty bad loss. So I was watching the replay.
My
Oh,
back
hello. What's up?
Wi-Fi is garbage right now, so I just switched my hotspot.
It's weird how
That should be
it's your
fine.
at-home Wi-Fi is like my school Wi-Fi.
Right. Well, I think it's just router location because our router here is downstairs, whereas my
Oh,
router at school is much closer.
that makes sense. All right. Well, do you want to have any final words about the Commanders season?
Well, I tweeted this: quarterback, coach, owner. That's the wish list. It's a big one,
Yeah, it is a
but
big one.
the whole thing has to change.
Yeah, this needs to
Also,
be top to bottom.
the Heineke like going to the Caps game last night and chugging beers. Like he couldn't have picked a different game to go to.
He
You
went
see that
last night?
video?
No, I did not see that.
Last night they were at the Caps game.
See, I wouldn't show face.
I wouldn't either.
I'm
I
sorry.
would have booed him.
Also that last play when he does like the QB draw. I see the Caps him chugging beer right now. That last play or one of the last plays where they get to the 1 yard line. How does he not score there?
I like that wasn't that crazy to me. Because when you stop it and you look at it, like, yeah, it looks like it's an easy score, but also the defender is flying in. Like if you hit play, the defender gets there incredibly fast. And he couldn't have dove in and they missed the block. That wasn't on him, I
All
don't
right,
think.
all right. There you go. I'm looking at it right now. He's getting wonked right at the goal line.
Yeah.
He should
And
have
he
done the
shouldn't have
Heineke
fumbled on the
dive.
last drive. I know. Well, I was thinking that like from my seats, and then when I saw the replay again, I was like, oh, if he dove, he would have gotten killed. He would have been on a stretcher.
Well, it's a shame because that's the thing about these nice storylines with the NFL is that the like when he does win games, it's always like it's not like he's a hero, but it's not like it's like always like questions about it, and then it's the second he
Mm-hmm.
loses, and it's like, all right, well, this is what he always is. Just
Yeah.
like, damn.
Yeah. I mean, I still like him.
No, of course.
I've enjoyed watching him.
But the Brian Robinson not getting 12 carries is criminal. That's a
And
fireball offense.
Terry, it felt like didn't have a catch until the third quarter, and then the
Yeah,
first 3 plays of the third quarter, he's getting the ball.
that seems like every game for you guys.
It doesn't make. Yeah, I'm fed up with Turner as well.
At least Dotson looks good.
Yep,
Dawson's a
doesn't
beast.
look really good. Oh, he's
I can't
back
believe I
healthy.
should have started him in fantasy. But anyways,
But when you have weapons like that, when you have Dotson who looks really good, you have McLaurin who's top 10, 15 of the league, and you have Robinson, and you're putting up 12 points against a mediocre team. It's pathetic.
it really
Pathetic.
is. It really is. Well, speaking of pathetic, it's time to move on to my pathetic team. I don't even know where to start. Should I start with the last play or the whole game? They
I
yet
didn't
ag-
watch. I just saw the end.
they yet again. I mean, they do nothing on offense for 4 quarters. Uh, they get a pick six in the third to help them get this comeback. They get the comeback. Okay, they get the 2 points. They tie it up. Everything's dandy. We get the ball last. The Raiders just kind of basically stopped scoring points, which was nice. It was great. It's exactly what we wanted. And it's a classic Raiders moment. They're ready to blow it. They're ready to hand us the game. And instead, we literally, actually, and physically hand them the game. So Keelan Cole gets a nice long touchdown. Um, they called in bounds. Whatever. It's alright. It's still a tied game. Like that's frustrating, but the Pats have had bad calls all season. We were just talking about the Commanders, bad call. Like there's been bad calls all season. It happens. And before that even happens, they let up a 4th and 10 to get him right back into the game. The game would have been over then and there. And then the Pats get the ball again. Ramondre runs 24 yards up the field, laterals it to Jacoby Myers, which
Pitchy woo woo.
pitchy. I heard that was on the Saturday game, right? Or what game was that they said it? Pitchy woo woo. That was ridiculous. I was like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Scott Van Pelt's thing.
Yeah, and it was somebody said it. I think it was during the Vikings game. They said pitchy woo woo, and I was like, what are they saying? But anyways, Ramondre pitchy woo woos it back to Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers proceeds to run backwards 20 yards, and then thinks in his head, "Oh, our Lamar Jackson level quarterback, Mac Jones, sitting there, nice, pudgy, white Mac Jones, is gonna get the ball and run 70 yards down the field and score a touchdown and win this game, and I'm gonna be the hero." And he just yeets it back. And Chandler Jones just comes in, takes it, proceeds to truck over Mac Jones,
That was the worst part.
and then run in and score in the end zone. And the game's over. That's it. The game is over. I didn't eat dinner. Dinner was in front of me, and I was just like, I'm not gonna eat this. I didn't know what to do. It's one of the worst losses I've ever seen in my life, but any team. I think it might be the worst loss I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's pretty shocking.
It's horrendous, and it's not like Mac played terrible all game. That they were only in it because the defense got a pick 6 and was back in it. The team's sorry. It's bad. It's a really bad team. They were in the red zone, and Mac Jones, it proceeded in the red zone, false start, delay a game, timeout, delay a game. How is that possible? Maybe the false start wasn't in there, but it was the delay of games. It didn't make any sense. He's just running out the clock, and then he's like, and I know the offensive play calling is god awful because I'm watching it. It's terrible, but he ain't good either. I'll give you that. I'm officially putting my stamp on it. He ain't good. And look, you got to blow it all up. You got to keep Ramondre, and I think you got to get rid of everybody.
Review staff.
Coach, look, Belichick can coach here as long as he wants. But if he's hiring those guys again, I want them all gone. I can't do another year of this. So I don't know. I was excited. This was the game. I was excited. I was like, this is we win this game. You sneak in the playoffs. Anything can happen. No, nothing can happen. Anything cannot happen. Tank it all, please. Please, for the love of God, do not win any more games this season. Just call it. That's all I got.
I honestly, I feel bad for Jacoby Myers because it's such like a brain just melts. It's in the moment, so it's not even like you go back and it's like you made the wrong decision. It's literally was just instinct, like boom, think fast.
No, and that's the thing. He knew it was tied, and he wasn't thinking like. He saw one pitch, and once you see one pitch, you're like,
oh yeah,
like we're going for it, like we're
doing it. We're doing this,
and oh god, I feel bad for him too because he's actually the only competent offensive player besides Ramondre Stevenson on the team. It's him and Ramondre are the two confident players, and he also got overthrown about 5 times this game. Where if he caught it and Mac put him on the numbers, that's a touchdown. So I really do feel bad for him. But God, you can't do that. Like, there's nothing else you just can't do that ever.
It just can't happen.
And
And it's like for a
okay,
Belichick team, you know, it's
this is one of the worst Belichick teams maybe of all
yeah.
time. They're undisciplined. They don't know what they're doing, and just this type of shit never would have happened on a properly led Belichick team.
Mm. I mean, yeah, it was so stupid that I don't even know what to say.
There's nothing to
He-
say. And it's not like they like for what like you can't be like, oh, it's on Patricia, like the rest of the game's on Patricia, but that specific play is just so stupid that you're just like, what do you even say in the locker room? Like, what is Belichick looking at? He just like looks at him, you fucking idiot! Like, get the hell out of here! Like, that's like the only thing you could possibly say. It's just like, wow, you're just caught. Like, you just literally blew us the game. And like, there's no defending it. And again, you're right. I feel bad for him, but Jesus Christ. Like, this is professional football here we're talking about. This guy's been
Yeah.
playing his whole life. In no level of
The
football would that play ever be acceptable. It's like if from preschoolers playing, he'd know not to toss it behind him. I don't know.
I mean, the
That's God, that's all I
image
got.
of Mac Jones just getting stomped into the ground
That should be
is
his lasting
also
image
pretty
on
bad.
the in the NFL.
I was thinking, like, I don't want to be too dramatic. Like, this
That
could
might be
be. I
it.
heard they were saying it on the Pat McAfee show that like this is the turning point
Yeah,
of like the Patriots and Bill Belichick.
that's it.
Which
It's the
is a bit
poster.
much, but
No, it's.
or maybe for Mac.
I think it's got to be Matt. Like that is just Max. That's what he's gonna be known by from
No,
until
but like he didn't even have involvement in the play either.
no, and he just still gets. He
He handed
literally
the
got
ball.
pummeled, just pummeled to the ground. And that's going to be the image of Mac Jones until he wins a meaningful football game. Which might not be for a while. And I don't even know if it's going to be on the Pats. I don't even know what to do. Like at first I was like, just get a receiver, try to keep doing what you're doing, but you can't keep doing what you're doing. You just got to blow it all up. You can't retool this type of team. You just got to blow it up. And I don't know what that calls for. If it means Belichick wants to coach next 4 years and, wants to get his 7 wins a year and get the all-time record within 4 years, just send me a memo. Let me know, and I won't have to care about this next couple years. But I'd like to be aware before the season starts that, hey, we're going to get the bare minimum, 7 wins, and we're going to waste a draft pick again. So just let me know before so I don't get angry. And I'll be all right with it. But you're not winning the Super Bowl. You're not winning a freaking playoff game. I don't know what you're doing. So that's all I got.
Yeah, I mean it's nice to see us on the same page. At least
That both our teams are absolute dog shit.
something. It is
That
funny how we
is
both had like the most crushing losses of our seasons, and for me, it's been a couple seasons really since they've had a loss this bad. The Cowboys one last year was pretty bad.
I
This
think it
was
was
worse.
bad because we both had hope. That's what was bad about it.
I let myself back in. I tried
Oh
to be
yeah, it's our own
optimistic.
fault. You
I,
know, losing 33-14 to the Bears wasn't enough, I guess, to me. Or losing this shitty Packers team. Well, I guess that was a third string quarterback, but yeah, it's
yeah, but I'm optimistic. Chris is. I took him outside and I shot him. He's gone.
He's staring at the flowers. He's not. He's not going anywhere. And like I think the worst part about both our teams is like we both had the moments where we were done with the team earlier,
Oh
far
yeah.
earlier than
Oh yeah.
where we
Way
are,
earlier this season.
and we just let ourselves creep right back in. We're fools. That's what we are. We're fools.
Are fools. That's sports though. Like that's what happens.
I hate it.
Yeah,
Absolutely hate
it
it.
sucks.
It's awful. Uh,
I mean, my wit like fireball offense. That's how disgusted I am.
oh, for Ron?
If they were to fire Ron after that
Yeah.
game, I would have been okay with it.
Yeah, you could have fired him before Monday hit. Before 12 o'clock even hit. You could have fired him. Wouldn't
Yeah,
have batted an eye.
disgustingly awful.
That's exactly how I feel too. Just complete and utter dog shit.
I don't want to see them.
No, I'm not watching another
Well, I
game.
wish that the season could just end.
It did for me. My regular season is over. You were frozen, so I don't know if you heard it or not. I was about to cancel the NFL for the rest of the season.
Oh, I would gladly make that trade.
I was ready to just
Hey, I will cancel
season's
my team's
over.
games, but you also have to cancel the rest of
Yeah,
the season. Done.
season's over. Called
Yeah.
it. And I
It's
was
only
like,
like 2 months until spring training starts.
oh yeah, we'll be right back
College
into it.
basketball.
Yeah, we'll be right back in next year too. And I was like, I'll give up the rest of the regular season I'll just watch the playoffs. I was like, I got a podcast to run. It looks like I have to. But I am not touching this Patriots Bengals game. They're gonna get whooped. Like stopped. And I hope they do, honestly.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm like, they deserve to just get their
They do. And
kicked
I
in by
hope
the
they do
49ers.
because like what? Are they gonna play him close and I'm gonna talk myself in again? No.
Right.
No. I
That's
want
what
to
I'm most worried about is we go on the road and play San Francisco close. I'm like, well, I don't
or
know.
God forbid you win. And you're like, oh my God, we're back into it. No, especially like I want it to be over. I want him to lose by 70. If they're already gonna be this much of
There's
an embarrassment, then
no light at the end of the tunnel.
no.
It's not like they win this game and then it's like, oh, and now's where the deep playoff run starts.
No.
Like maybe they sneak in the wounded leg and then they just get absolutely mauled by whoever the 2 seed is.
That's basically the Pats. That's the best case scenario for the Pats, pretty much.
Yeah. Same here.
Brutal. All right, let's talk about.
Somehow you beat the 49ers, then maybe you'll get a chance to play them again in 3 weeks. And this time you won't beat them.
Yeah, or yeah, or
So then
you'll
you
still
cry
lose.
into your mothers.
You'll beat the 49ers and then end up losing the last two.
Oh, that would be. Oh yeah, Dallas at home when they have
Yeah.
nothing to play for.
Yep.
That would be yeah.
It'd be Cooper Rush starting, and they'd still beat you.
Yeah, that happened to them like 4 years ago against the Giants with Kirk. All they had to do was beat the Giants to get into the playoffs. Giants were already in. They played half their starters, and they still lost.
Washington can't win. Like at least I have the history to fall behind, but you can't win.
Oh, and that's like it's literally been 25 years of this.
Yeah.
Just the same shit every year.
Flat
If they're
circle.
lucky enough to have a big game, and they lose it.
And then they shit it, yeah. And that's the thing. It's not even like they lost. It's like they scored 12 points. They scored 12 points at home Sunday night. All the hype's around you guys. Scored 12.
Right.
Just,
So the thing that does make it better is at the end it turned to the point where it's just like comedy. Because it was like, oh, here they are, they're about to score. Fumble. The next drive, oh, they're about to score again. And then penalty.
The crazy thing is that what baffled me, it was like the refs didn't know if they wanted to let them play or not.
Oh yeah.
They were like every other play, it was like, nah, we'll let them play, and then it was like, psych, we're gonna throw 5 flags on the field.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
And then they started reviewing like every play, and my mom and I were literally just like, I want to go home. They just end the game. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Just end it.
Oh, and you're probably
Put me out
freezing
of my
your ass
misery.
off up there.
It's cold, yeah. That was
Alright.
miserable.
Let's talk about our not as equally as garbage, but our mid-wise picks. Our mid picks of the week.
But you won too.
I know we even out every week, Chris.
Yeah.
We even out to 3-3 every single week. All right. Well, your first one was this one I was rooting heavily for you, and it just because it went to overtime, and I was like, it's still alive.
Oh,
It's
I'm
right
glad that
there.
they lost. In all fairness, like
It still made the
I'd
playoffs
rather have them
anyways.
lose. I know, but it was still funny.
Yeah, it was funny. So
The Cowboys
Cowboys,
-4 is what we're
yes, I
talking
was gonna
about.
say Cowboys -4 is what we're
It's
talking about.
again was a game where I was like, they possibly not win it. And when you have those games, what you're supposed to do, the other side, because they did not win, blew a 17-point lead. They had the Jaguars buried, and then Trevor Lawrence, good games in a row.
He did it. 2 good games in a row. I'm proud of the guy. Look,
I am too. He
he
might be
also
real.
the thing about Trevor is that he's making the players around him better. Like Zay
Mm,
Jones, I like Zay Jones now. I think he's good, and it's not like I don't know, it's not really him. He's been in the league for 4 or 5 years. He's made his we know he's a mediocre wide receiver, but Trevor throws him open, and always they always
mm.
seem to have good plays. They have a great chemistry. He got freaking 3 touchdowns today, and like Marvin Jones Jr. He's mediocre wide receiver, plays well in this system. Evan Ingram hasn't done anything his whole career, plays good. Christian Kirk moves the ball for him. Like and I think it's all Trevor. It's weird.
Trevor and Doug,
Yeah. And
peas in a
did you
pod.
see Travis Etienne's comment?
Oh, what do you say?
He said they were like basically like, what's the difference between last year and this year? And he's like, the coach. He's like the coach is literally everything. He's like, there's a real adult in the room that treats us like our fellow adults, and it's insane.
I mean, you didn't have to be a detective to figure that one
No,
out.
not at all. And now the Jags, they're putting themselves. They could win the NFC South or AFC South. Sorry,
Oh,
they got the Jets. Surprisingly, Jags Jets, massive Thursday night
it,
game. Who could
oh,
have seen
who
that
would have
coming?
thought?
Yeah, who could have seen that coming? Where this is a almost like they're it's almost like a loser leave town game.
The playoff game.
Yeah, it's a playoff game, and the Jets, they came out today that they're gonna have to play Zach Wilson, so
Hmm.
that's no bueno. But if if Trevor can just keep doing what he's doing and been doing the past 2 weeks, so what we thought before the game was that this was every other week. This was his off week. Maybe he's saving it for Thursday. Maybe the pooper's coming
What?
Thursday.
Oh, for Trevor,
Yeah, for Trev.
I
That's
think
what
he's
I'm
gonna
worried
shit.
about.
The
I don't 2 games. Look, 2 games in a row. It's been. Let's see if he could. Let's see if he could do 3.
Yeah, we'll see.
It
I mean, what was the result against the Titans earlier this year?
They just beat him last week,
Fine.
36-22.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they have a pretty decent shot to win this division.
Oh, they have a great shot. The Titans. Let me see what's their schedule looking like because
All they have to do is stay one game back going into that last week.
yep, and the Titans have this all of a sudden frisky Texans. Then they have the Cowboys and then the Jags. So if the Jags win what they need to, well, basically if they win out, they're in. Then they win the division.
Mm.
But
They control their own destiny.
yep, and the Titans and they like it's Jets, Texans, and Titans. So it's not a bad slate. Not a bad slate at all.
The Jets, on the other hand, are in some more trouble.
Look, they're done. Mike White's not playing. They're done. Zach Wilson sucks. He sucks balls. We'll get to that when we talk about the Lions pick because we could do that right now. He just he all the time. I was worried about the Lions. They kept it close the whole time, but about 5 times on red zone, you just see Zach Wilson literally just lofting it up. Just like, all right, somebody's down there somewhere and just chucking it like it's Madden. And
Mm.
it the pick he had, the one pick he had this game was just like one of the easiest picks I've ever seen in my life. The guy just like went up there and just, oh, this is going right towards me. grabbed it and just started running. He's just not good. He's not good.
Oh, and this Lions defense isn't good either.
No. So the fact that they're scoring 17 against them, and they
What
held the
happened to their
defense
running
held.
game?
I
I guess
you're
Brees
asking
Hall has
me.
been out for a while, but
Hey, but Bam Knight, Zadavion Knight, or Zonovan Knight, sorry. He's been good. I had him on fantasy the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and
that seems like a guy who would start in your lineup.
my lineup was not. Hey, still made the playoffs. You didn't.
Well, we're both sitting here now.
Yeah, we're both. Yeah, just like our NFL teams. We're both sitting on the couch come January.
Look at us.
Yep. But he was been good the past couple weeks. Really good, actually. And this week, 11 rushes, 24 yards.
That's not great.
13.
It's almost like
bad.
you can just stack the box against them because you know that Zach Wilson
sucks.
is not going to beat you.
Yeah. No, and they
that
couldn't
makes
get
sense.
like Garrett Wilson. I guess had a couple nice catches. CJ Uzmama, a couple nice touchdowns, but no, they couldn't get anything else. And the Lions, we thought like, oh, cold weather, Jared Goff was affected a little bit by the cold weather, but their offense was still humming. Their rushing attack still great, and they surprisingly just have a lot of weapons, which is kind of weird. And they're not good weapons, but they get open
But they're there.
They're there, and Jared Goff can hit them, which is what I guess matters. Amonra is a good weapon. He's really good. All right. Actually, we didn't talk about the Cowboys loss. We didn't talk about how they lost. Overtime. It wasn't even Dak's fault. Yeah, I know. It wasn't even Dak's fault.
Got tipped up, but
tipped right up, snagged, bolted. 2 walk-off touchdowns for garbage teams. All right. Let's keep going. What's next? Your Ravens. This was I hated it the whole time.
This pick.
Yeah.
This game sucked.
This game was awful. It was the one stinker on Saturday. Everything else was great. And
yeah,
both these teams are bad. I know.
Yeah, well, that's why I picked it, because I was like, the Browns do not scare me at all.
No, and they didn't scare the Ravens throughout the the Ravens were not scared of Deshaun. They were just like, throw it, and it didn't work. I guess it did work to a degree, but more of the Ravens just couldn't score whatsoever.
This is I feel like the Ravens season has been building up to a game like this.
You know what baffles my mind?
Finally, it's just they lay an egg.
You know what baffles my mind?
What?
J.K. Dobbins, I'm going to read some stat lines to you. J.K. Dobbins, 13 for 125. Gus Edwards, 7 for 55. They scored 3 points. How is that possible? Like, you just read those 2 stat lines alone, they should at least have 9 points by that. Like, come on.
It's like every drive is fizzled out.
And how did they combine to have 20 carries? And Tyler Huntley, your second string quarterback who got concussed last game, is thrown it 30 times. The game plan, like, what is the game plan here? Your game plan anyways to run it with Lamar. What are you doing? Now you have a worse passer, an actual running back there, and you're going to throw it 30 times?
I don't know.
I understand. The Ravens fans, they get mad every week about, what's his name? Greg Roman. And they want him fired every week. It finally opened my eyes now that they were on Saturday.
Yeah, I agree.
Why they should get rid of him, because that's just a ridiculous play call it's unjustifiable.
I mean, there were Ken put up numbers by driving it like halfway down the field and not scoring points. Like, they would run the ball, get a few first downs, and then they literally could not make a play down the field. So
it's almost like they have no wide receivers.
They also, one of their first drives of the game might have been the first. They drove all the way down and had it at the 2-yard line and got stuffed. 4th and 1.
Just ugly. Ugly. They had.
It was they lost the game at that point, basically.
No, and it's funny, without Lamar or anything, they already can't be down a bunch of points. But if they get down 10, it's like, all right, it's over. They got nothing. Nothing they
Oh
can do
yeah.
to come back.
What could you possibly do?
No, the Pats are the same way. You go down 10 on the Pats, or go up 10 on the Pats, that game is over. They're not getting 2 scores.
It wasn't Sunday.
I guess it wasn't until but it's still like I guess it wasn't, but it was still over. It was over because they tossed it away.
Not to beat a dead horse.
Yeah, yeah, we don't need to talk about it again. All right, Ravens, Cheeks. It's funny. They're gonna have some trouble making the playoffs. Surprisingly,
How?
I mean, maybe not making the playoffs, but they're not gonna win a division.
No, they're
Division's
not.
over. They blew it this week, and now they have the Falcons, and I think Lamar's coming back on Christmas Eve. And what do the Bengals got? I know they have the Pats.
They have tough
they have a
schedule. I
tough
think.
schedule.
Yeah, Bills and the Ravens.
Luckily, they have the Bills at home. So all right. Well, actually, that division is going to be decided January 8th.
I mean, the Bengals look like they cannot be beaten right now, though.
They can't. They do look like that, and it was rough at first. It looked like the trap game was going to come in and actually get everybody, but the Bucks just completely shit the bed in the second half. Actually, we'll get to that. Actually, we have to finish the wise picks first. Next up, I had the Falcons, the cheekiest +4 of all time. Absolutely loved this +4.
It wasn't there like the whole game.
No, it wasn't. I was really scared, and they got the 2-point. And when they got the 2-point, I was just like, "We're alive, baby! Like let's go. We were absolutely alive." The Ritter sucked.
I was gonna say, like, this pick was a Ritter pick. You said you believed in him.
I no longer believe the Riddler is. I'm out.
It didn't make sense to start it like at this point. I guess it's the end of the season. You just want to see what you got. But you're also in a division race.
Yeah, that was the interesting part. Is that they're in a division race. He looks like I'm looking at like pictures of him right now. He looks like he's 45. Jesus, he's got a.
He looks like he's seen some shit.
Yeah, he really has. He looks older than Marcus Mariota. But anyways, I just think they probably just thought like, there's no way he's worse than how Marcus Mariota's been playing. And
Mariota hadn't that bad though.
Yeah, but they lost they lost like 5 out of the 6 last games. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they've lost 7 out of 8, but it was 6 out of 7 before. I think that's worthy of a bench.
I guess.
They were free falling at that point. They might as well.
But you're still a game out of the division. If they won this week, they'd be tied.
No, I mean that. Yeah, but I just don't think. Do you think the result's any different if it's Marcus Mariota?
I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not.
The story of this game for me was Tyler Algier, who just casually he's a player no one's talked about all year. He's been a really great rusher pretty much all season. A casual 17 for 139 and a touchdown. And
I remember seeing him like during our fantasy draft. Like,
oh yeah,
is this guy actually about to be drafted? Like, who is this clown? And then of course, the season.
And he right now on the season, 743 yards, and the issue is he only got 2 touchdowns. If he had more touchdowns, he'd be a big fantasy implication.
He also looks kind of like a clown.
He also has a weird face. The Falcons they're
kind of a really scrunched up face.
Yeah, look at Caleb Humpley's face too. He's got like a pug face. Looks mean. Anyways, that's about to be on the point.
Caleb who?
Caleb Huntley on the Falcons as well.
Oh.
Their other running back. They just couldn't get the ball down the field. And it was funny. Remember what I said last week? What the Saints might need? A little more Taysom Hill. They gave it to us and it worked.
How old is Caleb Huntley? Talk about someone who looks like 45. He looks like he has grandkids.
He's 24.
No.
Damn, we're making fun
Ah,
of him when he tore his Achilles. Poor Caleb Huntley. He does look like he has grandkids though.
looks so
He
old.
it's funny when you see him without pads, it looks like he'd be like a D end.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah,
big
he's a
dude.
monster of a
He's a
man.
big dude. He went to Ball State. No wonder he's a big dude. He knows nothing but ball. All right, another. So none of this is gonna matter, right? In the NFC South, like the Bucks are just gonna sneak. They have a
No,
1-game lead, and they're just gonna sneak up and sneak in the playoffs. That's what I'm starting to feel like.
it's fun to talk about, but no, it does not matter at all.
Because they're gonna get the Cardinals, which is Trace McSorley, next week,
Mm.
and I mean, hell, they could easily blow the game. This would be, I guess it wouldn't be the biggest shock in the world. That's Sunday night. Oh my god. The Sunday night game. Oh, the Christmas Day games are absolutely horrendous. Have you seen them?
I haven't. I can look now.
Packers at Dolphins, Broncos at Rams,
Oh, no.
and then this to wrap it all up on Sunday night, Bucks at Cardinals with no Kyler Murray or Colt McCoy. Jesus.
The Saturday night game is Raiders Steelers.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal too.
What are we doing?
That's awful. I thought the Ravens not play on Saturday?
They play the Falcons.
Yeah, don't they play on Saturday?
Mhm.
What time?
One.
Why don't I see that? Oh, I do. I thought that was a night game. Anyways, the what were we just talking about? Oh, the
Christmas
division,
games.
the NFC South.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
that's a non-story. I don't care. Like
yeah.
the Saints ain't gonna win it. The Panthers, they couldn't beat freaking Mitch Trubisky today. So it's done. Next up, your one win of the week. Bears +9 at the Eagles. I thought they were gonna be able to do it. The
That
Bears.
Fields run was awesome.
Oh, it was one of the greatest quarterback runs I've ever seen. And it's funny the fact that he stepped out of bounds just screwed me up in fantasy so much because I was playing David Montgomery and just it was an instant David Montgomery touchdown after that.
Yeah.
So I was a little pissed that he stepped out of bounds. Other than that,
Oh well.
he talk about making it done with not a lot around you. He's got nothing around him,
Hmm.
and he
Yeah.
just keeps them in
Pringle,
these games. And
other St. Brown.
yeah, the not as good St. Brown, but it's pretty insane that the Bears have been in all these games, and like we think, at least me, I think that like whenever I look at them, it's like, oh, they're kind of a good team. They're 3-9. They're garbage. They're terrible.
3-11. I thought
Are they 3-11 now? I guess that would make sense.
they were 3-10 last week.
Yep, 3-11. You're right. They suck. They're garbage.
Yeah, they're horrible.
And yet they're in every single one of these, or not everyone, but
Huh?
90% of these
Basically
games.
everyone.
Yeah, 90% of these games. The Packers game, they were in until the end, where Justin Fields blew it at the end. But God, they can get, if they nail this draft, they're gonna be looking good. If only they had a nice young linebacker on the defense and a second round pick that doesn't now go to the Steelers for freaking Chase Claypool. Dumbasses.
I forgot about Claypool.
And they traded their own second round pick, which is going to be like a first rounder now.
Yeah,
It's
it's nuts.
going to be like the 35th pick. Stupid ass
That was pretty
Bears.
shocking.
Yeah.
Not shocking actually, but foolish.
No, it's a classic Chicago moment. They can't have anything nice. That's the issue with Chicago. That's why they're in all these games. You can't have shit in Chirac. That's why.
But like, it's kind of good for them.
No, yeah, you don't want to win these games. You don't want to end up with the 5th pick. Rather take the 2nd.
No. Make it look good, but lose every time.
I'd take that for this Pat. Like if the Bears season was the Pat season, I'd probably be a lot happier right now.
I might be too.
Because you look good in every game and there's promise, but you know you're garbage to begin with, and you're gonna get this like the second pick. God, I'm getting blinded.
You didn't have a chance to begin with.
Yeah, so
You're in the spotlight right now.
I am in the spotlight. I'm on the hot seat, honestly. All right. Those are actually, and then I have the Rams. I totally forgot about this game even existing. Did you watch this game at all? You did?
Put it on.
Yeah, I didn't watch a single thing about it.
They're garbage.
It looks like it. Baker.
But like I told you that
Yeah,
we were gonna
I
have this
know.
Baker issue.
I just thought that the Packers were garbage enough to keep him to 7. And it doesn't look like they were. 0 points in the fourth quarter by any team. Sounds like a great Monday night.
It was not a fun game to watch. What was I gonna say? Oh, at one point Cam Akers had, I think it was a 19-yard run, and the announcers were like, "It's Cam Akers' longest run of the season," and I was like,
oof.
"Wow,
that's brutal.
That's great."
I love that. Remember, like halfway through the season, he was like, "I'm not gonna play for the Rams. I hate the Rams." And now they're like, "We need you." It's like, "Oh yeah, I'll play." Oh man. Well, that does it for Baker, I guess. He's doubted again. So who they got next week? On Christmas Day. That is just gonna be a rock fight. Absolute rock fight.
Oh, what's the over/under of that game? I feel like that's free money.
It's gotta be, dude. Well, you know what was free money?
It's got to be set at like 31.
What was free money was the Cardinals Broncos. Actually, they might not even hit it. No, I guess they didn't hit it. It was
36.5 is Rams Broncos.
They ended up hitting. Damn.
Saints Browns. Guess what the over/under is in that game?
Saints Browns over/under. Since you said it like that, I'm gonna guess like 34.5.
31.5.
What?
Lower than Army Navy.
Oh, that's an over. That's gotta be an over. There's no way 31.5. But both.
I had to do a double take.
I mean, both of them don't score points. I'll give you that. Like the Browns, they scored the last time they scored above 20 was 2 weeks ago, and it was their defense doing all of it. Offense didn't score a point.
Can't believe it's that low.
That's awful. That's horrendous.
There's a lot of bad ones. 37 Texans Titans, 37.5 Falcons Ravens.
There's bad games.
39 Commanders. There's a lot of bad games. Yeah, this is not a fun week.
No, it's a good Christmas to have the NBA on, because the NFL Christmas games.
Anything else
ain't happening. Yeah. All right, we still have some games to talk about this week. Some great games on Saturday. Colts, Vikings, the OT, the thriller, and Matt Ryan. He's just gonna be cursed with this forever.
I feel so bad.
He's gonna be cursed with this forever.
That was such a Vikings game.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, this Vikings team is the one to set the all-time greatest NFL comeback.
Well, it's just it's like they were like, all right, everybody's been doubting us. Let's go out there, shit the bed, then see what happens.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, we'll actually play in the second half. And I like to think maybe they just knew, like, we're really gonna let Jeff Saturday beat us. Let's just wait until we let him get some points, and then he won't know what to do once he has the lead. And that's exactly what happened. And Matt Ryan, the king of not knowing what to do when he has the lead, and they fumbled the bag. And it wasn't even like it was a bunch of turnovers or a bunch of like great stops. It was just a bunch of mediocre 3-and-outs, and it just
stopped scoring.
Yeah, and they just kept
put up 33
and up and up. Kirk Cousins ended the game with 460 passing yards.
So one of my buddies texted me like earlier in the week and said, "Who do I start this week for fantasy, Dak or Kirk?"
Oh.
I was like, asked who they were playing. I was like, "All right, go ahead, start Kirk." And then at halftime, he's like, dude, like, you suck. He has -1 points. I was like, well, my bad. And at the end of the game,
Oh,
had
you let him start Kirk? That's great. That's
uh,
perfect.
eight 800 yards and 7 touchdowns.
What I hate is like I can give you stuff on score predictions as a team, but like don't tell me to like what should I do an anytime touchdown with this guy? I don't know.
Yeah,
Don't tell
it's
me to
like
do that.
that's a gut call.
Yeah, it's like
No decision.
I don't want to be responsible for
Yeah,
AJ like
right.
I don't want to be responsible for AJ Brown catching a touchdown instead of Miles Sanders running it in and then you mad at me.
Hmm.
So I'm just gonna give you the teams. And
What do you want me to do about that?
yeah. No, it's like I'm garbage at fantasy football. I don't know what to tell you.
Anyway, I had an exam at like 2 o'clock during this game, so I didn't see the first majority of it. But when I got out, I had an alert. Do you get the alerts from the NFL app that's like, game is coming back from half?
Oh no,
This
I do
one was
not.
like, Indianapolis has a 33-0 lead over the Vikings. Tune in for this. And I was like, what? What's going on?
What
Like,
did it say after tune in? Tune in to see what? Like how they weren't
no,
expecting
I
anyone.
might still have it.
That's hilarious.
Notification.
I want to see like I wanted to be like tune in to see them maybe like what hold the lead for the next half, see what the Vikings can do. But I guess they were right. They were right to tune in, and
Not
it's
really.
funny. So at halftime,
Yeah, here it just says the Colts hold a 33-0 lead over the Vikings. Watch second half action starting now exclusively via NFL Network.
damn. And the Colt, dude, it's just such, and it was great. It was perfect. Saturday was gonna win. He was gonna win on Saturday. First coach ever named Saturday to coach on a Saturday, and he just completely choked it away. That
Yeah.
the overtime too. It did. This game, it had to be a tie. Neither team wanted it
Oh,
to
I
win at
know.
all.
A tie would have been so perfect.
No, and it would have been the Colts'
Come back from
second
that many
tie.
points and just tie.
Just a tie. And it's
Yeah.
funny, they came back and they're rolling like they scored 22 in the fourth, 14 in the third, and then overtime it's like they couldn't move the ball at all. It's
Yeah.
like what were the defensive adjustments from fourth quarter to overtime that wasn't from third quarter to fourth quarter or from any time in between
Good
there?
question. Good question.
Oh man. But it just Matt Ryan, he can't escape, man. He can't escape. He'll just be
It's
ever
just who we.
haunted by leads. Poor guy. I feel like I don't know if I'd be able to get up in the morning. I think I'd retire.
Yeah, this would be a nice time to do it.
If this was Madden, I'd probably break my Xbox.
Yeah, I'd have a panic attack.
Yeah, in like many pieces. All right, let's keep going. Next up, oh, Bills
The Saturday
Dolphins.
game.
Bills Dolphins. This might have been one of the games of the year. This was so much fun to watch. The snow.
Did not expect the Dolphins to play them as close as they did.
No, it's almost like a moral victory for them because they were so doubted and so like, oh, it snows in Alabama. I guess it does snow in Alabama. You know, I'm
Yeah, it
sorry.
wasn't bad. It
No, and it's
wasn't great.
weird. What'd you say?
It wasn't great, but
No, he wasn't great, but he wasn't bad. And there were so many doubts that we had and the whole national media had on how this team's going to work in cold weather because they're not going to get a home game in January. So they're going to have to go somewhere where it's much colder than it is in Miami. And they were in it the whole time. The Bills smartly, got that last drive, took the whole clock, chewed it all the way down, and didn't give them even a chance to get the ball back. So great game by both of them, both teams. And the Dolphins, they just need a little bit more. I feel like they could have run the ball a little bit more than they did.
probably.
But other than that,
I mean,
they
that's like
played
Tua needs that as well.
what, a run game or a game like this.
that will run. Well, both
Yeah.
actually.
No, he definitely needs a stable run game though. This all right, give me 1 second. I need to take this sun out of my damn eyes. Christ. All right, that's much better. God, I was blinded over there. Anyways, Raheem Mostert, great game. They could have used just a little, like not even used a little bit more from him, but given him the ball a couple more times. You know, if he's running 8 yards per carry, make that. This is what I feel like we said this about 5 teams this week alone. That he goes like they need this running back is getting 8 yards a carry and they only run him 17 times. You here, Chris? I think we lost Chris again. Brutal. Brutal for the program. But anyways, Bills, I mean, this is a game they needed to win at home in the conditions they like to play in, and they took care of business. It was interesting. I don't think Devin Singletary needed to fall down at the end to avoid that touchdown. I don't think the Dolphins they didn't have in the snow, they didn't have the oomph, but I get the the PTSD from the Chiefs last year. Anyways,
I hear
Chris, you back? Yeah.
my hotspot just decided to cut off.
Oh, well, I was just
So
talking about how I feel like five times we've already said this running back's getting 5 yards or 8 yards to carry. Why doesn't he have 24 carries
right.
instead of 17 or whatever? And then
It's because the coordinators think that they're so smart.
yeah, yeah, and it's like then you look at Derrick Henry and the Titans, which I don't know what his stat line was this week, but whenever he's rolling, there's a reason why he gets 50 carries a game. Because he's rolling and because he's getting 8 yards a carry. But I was just saying, it's a great win for the Buffalo Bills. This is what they like to play in these conditions, and like they had to take care of business at home, and they did. The Devin
Snow was so
Singletary,
fun.
it was
So
fun. It was a lot of fun. Did you see the Devin Singletary going down at the end? Did you agree with that, or do you think he could have run it in?
I mean, I don't think it really matters.
No, that's what I was saying. Either way, I said if he came in, I don't think the Dolphins would have had enough time. But Bills,
Yeah,
Bills, a lot of PTSD from the 13 seconds they gave Mahomes in the playoffs. So I get
that's
it.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah, and you
I
have
think when
Tyreek
in
Hill.
doubt, go down.
Well, yeah, when in doubt, and you have Tyreek Hill's on the other side. One bad play, and all of a sudden they're in the end zone.
Well, which is exactly what happened in the playoff game.
Yep. Yeah, against the same guy.
Oh, there goes Tyreek Hill for like 40 yards, and all of a sudden,
All of a sudden it's a tie ball game again. All right, next up, what do we got? Do we have to talk about Steelers Panthers?
letdown spot. Come on, Panthers.
A
That
terrible
was a
letdown
game where
spot.
like
You
actually
needed to
had
win
some
that game.
hype.
Yeah, you needed to win that game, and we just watched the Steelers let off a bunch of rushing yards to the Ravens, who didn't have a quarterback, and now you're thinking, oh, I mean, the Panthers don't have a quarterback and can run the ball. Not this game, not this
Oh.
game at all. And then they just gave up because the other thing is, even if your running back's playing well, you give up, but if he doesn't play well at the beginning, you just give up completely. Just don't even run it. And
Yeah, this was a pretty tough scene
it's
on their end.
it was a snooze fest.
It was such a snooze fest.
There's no reason to talk about that game. Chiefs Texans though, overtime.
What's the deal with this Texans team?
I have no idea. They're frisky.
We've had like both of these teams beat.
They had them beat. The Chiefs had to do a two-point conversion just to bring it to overtime. It's weird.
Insane.
Two good teams they had beat the whole time. I think they gotta keep Lovey because they're calling him up. They're calling him up in the fourth quarter, going, "You gotta lose this game. What are you doing here, Lovey?"
Yeah.
And I don't know. Clearly, he has enough with nobody on his roster to at least get a lead on good teams. And I know we're saying this
Yeah,
even
I
though we
guess.
have a whole season sample size of them getting destroyed.
Right. It's not like this has been all year,
Yeah,
the last 2 weeks.
but it is interesting that like e- every time we're always like it's fourth quarter team. It's like maybe it's just their version of tanking. Maybe they're just tanking it every week. And now you're to the point where you don't even need to tank it anymore. They have the first round. They have the first overall pick pretty much locked up. And I would love to see them roll the Titans next week. That would be so funny. It's like, oh, we have the first pick secured pretty much. All right, let's just make sure the Titans don't win the AFC South.
Yeah, that would be
But
perfect.
the Chiefs, they took them overtime. Chiefs have been flaky the past couple games. I mean,
Hmm.
they almost blew it to the Broncos. They lost the Bengals. The Chiefs, I mean, against the Rams, they didn't score as much as we think a Chiefs team would score. But I don't think it matters.
I was about to say, like, we're kind of used to this,
Yeah,
honestly.
they just don't cover, and it's all right. But
They don't
they
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 don't
don't
care.
need to cover. Yeah, what do they care? And they're saving themselves for the playoffs. I still think they're maybe not the team to beat, but they're gonna be of course.
Yeah,
So I wouldn't be too worried if I'm a Chiefs fan, and if you're a Texans fan,
not at all.
I don't think there are Texans fans, but oh my God, my boy Royce Freeman, he was their leading rusher.
Rolls
I didn't even
Royce.
realize that. Yeah, Rolls Royce, and they're doing this thing with Jeff Driscoll and Davis Mills, and somehow it's working. Normally, if you have
Doesn't
two
make any
quarterbacks, you
sense.
have none, but and it's at random times Jeff's in there.
No, it doesn't make
Random.
any sense.
Nope. It's like, all right, here comes Jeff. Ugh, all right. Well, I guess they're decent
I
enough.
really hope they beat the Titans next week.
I just think that'd be funny. Be really
It'd be
funny.
so funny.
All right. What's up? What's up next?
Broncos
No.
wanna no.
Nope.
All right,
Nope. I
never mind.
refuse. I refuse to talk about that game. Titans Chargers. The Titans were right there, and Tannehill, he goes out in I think the second quarter for a little bit, and Malik's in
Hmm.
there, and it looks like Tannehill's just like done out, comes back in, and plays a mediocre game.
Yeah, I'm just disgusting that the Chargers are gonna have to make the playoffs this year. Like they can't blow it at this point, right?
No, but it would be so Charger if they did.
Maybe they could.
They lose to the Colts Monday. That is just eyeing up. I'm taking Colts money line Monday night under the lights. This is Chargers just waiting to collapse,
Yeah,
absolutely waiting. And then they
I
have
like
Sunday
that.
night against the Rams. Oh, Baker blows them out of the
Battle
water.
Valet.
All of a sudden they're 8-8, and they're not. The Jets are making the
Yep.
playoffs instead of them. I gotta say though, if I'm the Chargers, or if I'm facing the Chargers in the playoffs, I'm a little worried because when Chargers are their best,
Hmm?
they're a great
They're
team.
tough.
Yeah, they're a great team when they play their best. The issue is that they never ever play their best ever. Even this one, they had to squeak out of their ass, and
Yep.
Herbert
And
had
the
to be
Titans have been miserable.
and Herbert had to be a superhero. He's literally just like he's the hero of LA because
Yeah.
nobody else wants to win but him. It seems like.
Hmm.
And he week in and week out, he just makes amazing throws. It's pretty insane. I'd love to have. Can he come to the Pats? Little
I'll
swap.
take him too.
Yeah, I'd love to have him. And it's funny. You look at that, and you look at. Of course, we talked about all season. You look at the roster around them. Like the fact that they're 8-6 is ridiculous. They should be right up with the Chiefs at like 13-1, 13-2, or whatever the hell they are. 13-2, I guess. But it's blasphemy that they are 8-6. And I guess they won this game, so I don't know what I'm complaining about. You freeze again, Chris?
The video's a disaster connection.
Oh, you do have a disaster connection. But
It's
I can hear you
horrible. I might just move it downstairs.
now. Henry's showing that he's still a king. He's a beast, man. He just can't be tackled. Nobody else on that team is a beast, though. Nobody else on that team is any good.
No, I feel like Chig is good.
Yeah.
The guy,
Yep. Came out of Maryland.
Conquo, I'm a stud.
Mm-hmm. And
But I feel like right after I hopped on the Titans train is when they started looking like this. They haven't won
you
a game
cursed him.
since.
You cursed him.
Good.
Did you see the Roger McCreary Joshua Kalu tip pick? That was pretty cool.
Hmm?
Throws to the end zone, and McCreary's feet are still in bounds. He just tosses it to Josh Kalua.
Yeah,
That was pretty cool.
that was a cool play.
But they, wasn't enough. All right. Bucks Bengals. I guess we never actually talked about them. We talked about how the Bucks had them at first and they blew it. But Brady, like that
This
second half
was because
was horrendous.
we were talking about this game before, and like this just feels like a game where Brady proves us wrong again. And when they get up, what was it? It's like 17-3.
It was 17-0
Like,
at one point.
I was like, holy cow, he's gonna do it again.
Yeah, no,
We're gonna look like fools.
I was like, and I was like, this is why we didn't pick him. Wise picks. Why we didn't pick him. And it was literally to that moment, everything else went wrong for them.
Oh yeah. I think they were outscored 33-0 until like 2 minutes left in the fourth.
The Bucks, they had the Bengals, they started, I think, 50% of their drives in Bucks territory. They have that weird fake punt, I guess it was, that was a miscommunication. Giovanni Bernard. And do you see his post-game interview?
Mm.
The media's trying to talk to him, and he's just like, look, it was my fault. Sorry, it was my fault. Like, stop. Like, basically just like, stop talking to me. Like, I'm sorry.
All right.
It's my fault. And yeah, that was a weird interview. I felt bad for him. I was like, stop harassing the poor guy. And I mean, Brady just kept throwing the ball to him. And they'd have no running game. Brady
also, like, was watching the post, like the presser, he looks thin. Like his jaw, he looks like he's losing weight.
He's looked thin all year. He actually, maybe you're right. Maybe
Sad.
it's been even worse the past couple weeks. But he needs
definitely
some meat on
getting
his
worse.
bones.
Yeah.
And he looks like
No,
the
I feel
skeleton
bad
kid.
for him. Yeah.
Like it's his chin and his neck is just so skinny. It's almost hard to look at.
It is. I'm worried about him.
Yeah, I am too. Especially when he's the Pats quarterback next year. I'd be really worried about him. All right.
You would welcome that?
Yeah, I'd welcome it. Of course I'd welcome it.
I think he's going to be like 70.
Yeah, and we also still won't be good, but I'm still going to welcome it.
Yes.
Look at this headline. Tom Brady gearing up for quote, new experience of Christmas without Giselle. Brutal headline.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal headline. All right. What is that all we got? That's all the games, right? We hit them all? Yeah, I think so. Hit pretty much, yeah. The only one we didn't talk about was Cardinals Broncos, and they don't deserve to be talked about.
Broncos, yeah. I guess we did.
Sweet. All right. There's I gotta look this up, and I wanted to see if you knew any more information than I do. I think the tree's coming back to South Carolina.
Really? I haven't really looked into it.
Okay, let me see if there's any recruiting things. I can't even tell anymore with recruiting shit. It's weird. Like I have no idea who to believe, what stuff means. Like, I don't know. So I'm not seeing anything on.
What's his actual name?
It's a long name, so I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. Is there there's nowhere to look if it's not on 24/7 Sports? I got nothing on it. So maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. But heated not rivalry, but maybe soon to be rivalry between the two schools. And we talked about it last time.
It is, yeah.
We got a 4-star quarterback, so I guess that's cool.
Oh, nice.
Oh, we're crystal
You
balled
just
him.
don't get good
His name
quarterback.
is I I cannot pronounce that.
Can't pronounce it.
No, not at all. But we're crystal
Um,
balled him with 2 people. That's what it looks like. This, yeah, was Maryland, now crystal ball to us. So it's him. The tree.
Tree.
Yeah, we got some guy named Reed Mike Sala, some tight end. So this is my college corner right now. And the other thing I got on my college
Yeah,
corner is at halftime between the Vikings and the Colts. I was it was the Gamecocks. They were playing Eastern Carolina, and they lost.
Monty Bates.
No, Eastern Carolina. It's not even a
Yeah,
Monty Bates. It's not even
Carolina.
Eastern Michigan, and they lost to Eastern Carolina. This was their first Eastern Carolina's first SEC win ever. It was their first Power 5 win in like 20 years. And the Gamecocks didn't look good. They scored 18 points in the first half. 18 points. 18 points in the first half. Let me say
Yeah,
that one more
they're
time.
just
The
not
first
good.
20 minutes of basketball, they scored 18 points.
Hey, Maryland had a game where they scored 17, but that was against Tennessee, who's number 1 in defense.
Yeah, this is against ECU. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm still gonna go to games. I'm still gonna be loud and
Yeah,
proud.
yeah. Well,
But
what can you do?
no, there's nothing. There's nothing I can do. Besides maybe even give me a contract. Let me try it out. I
Yeah.
can chuck some threes up. I can pass the ball.
Stand in the corner.
Yeah, I can stand in the corner. I got probably better hands than Verdonk. I probably have more touch than Verdonk too. I swear to God, every time he gets the ball, he's right next to the rim, and it never results in a layup. Ever. The team can't hit layups to save their lives. It's literally, if it's not Gigi or Mechie Johnson hitting threes, it's really not much of anything. Jacoby
Yeah.
White was a good starter for us last year. He's a bench player now, and he's cheeks. Chico Carter's he's on and off. And they played Zachary Davis, and I was getting excited because I mentioned last pod they need to play Zachary Davis, and he played 3 minutes. So, and he got
The end of the
one.
game,
I
or just
know
like
it was like
yeah.
halfway through the first quarter or first half, and I was like, oh, nice, let's get him in there. And then I never saw him again.
Coaches will do that. They'll just throw guys in for a few minutes in the first half, then you won't see them again.
They shot 21 of 55 on the field goals, and then 6 for 24 on 3-pointers. Just all around horrendous. And they outscored him in the second half, and they played really well. They came back. They did the whole thing, got my hopes up, and it was good. Yeah, so I was sitting there. I was watching with my dad. I was like, I'm gonna turn it off if they don't score 30 points by the 15-minute mark of the second half. And at the 15-minute mark, they hit a 3 to make it 30, and I was like, shit. I was like, God damn it! Now I have to watch the rest of the game. And it just they got it close, and I got excited, and no, it wasn't. It was too little, too late. It's an embarrassment of a basketball program. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
No, they're gonna
0-0 is like the only thing.
Year 0 is the only thing you can
I
say.
got.
But if you're Gigi Jackson, you're like, what did I do? What did I do? Like, I could have gone to UNC and I might have been a bench player, but at least I would have been competing for a national championship.
Yeah.
God.
Well, the women.
No, yeah, and the women's the other side of the spectrum. They're too good. They're not watchable. And like I've said this multiple times, and it's still true. They won 86-24 the other night. 24 in 4 quarters. What are these girls do? The women are just jogging out there. They're not like how do you even attempt a 3-pointer or anything by the end of it? Like fourth quarter, what must the body language look like? I have no idea.
They beat Maryland 81-56, and people on our Twitter were like, well, at least we showed we can compete with like best of the best. And I was like, that's competing is keeping it within 25,
Yeah, because the other teams they can't score they can't even score 50 against us.
but not even close.
I just want to like they're playing Coastal today. Oh my god. So 87-23 was the last score. The score before that was it was a bad game. It was only 62-44. And then 88-39, 79-54. This one the UCLA was the closest so
Yeah,
far.
but they're
And I
number
know they
11.
beat Stanford in overtime. So they are beatable. But it's like
Mm.
when they're hot,
That has to be number 2 in the country.
yeah, it has to be number 2 in the country. And if they're not facing number 2 in the country, they're just blowing your ass out.
Yeah.
It's impressive. It's like seriously impressive. And I think
Funniest
like
one is the Clemson one. They
oh
beat him
yeah,
85-31.
yeah, the rivalry game. I think some of these women could play for our men's team. I think a lot of them could. I just feel like I think Aaliyah Boston, Zach Cook, Bria Beal, they could definitely all of them could definitely play. It's horrendous. The
Run
differences
them
in our
out there, see what
basketball
they can
teams.
do.
Just talk about the variety that we have. Oh,
Yeah.
All right. Well, what do you got?
We fell out of the rankings, but we're 26.
That's not bad.
We were first in receiving votes. I don't know. I still feel like we might be overhyped. The game, the UCLA game is scarring. It was so bad. Oh, I know. Our next game's Thursday. We have a couple cupcakes. We'll see how things look once we really get into Big Ten play. I know. I'm starting to get excited for the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
There you go. I'm excited.
Oh,
I'm
I
excited for
saw
the. We still have like 10. Well, when's the Duke Mayo Bowl? That's got to be soon, right?
30th.
Oh, is it the
10 days.
30th?
Hmm.
Because I was gonna say we have 2 more pods before our bowl games.
Yeah. But Testudo did a photo shoot in the mayonnaise aisle.
That's tough. Cocky
Got
did
me
that, yeah.
excited.
Cocky did that. The coolest part I think was the Duke's Mayo Bowl, the mayo containers. I'm so pissed I didn't
Yeah.
get one. It was like it showed like it was like Gamecocks versus UNC Duke's Mayo Bowl on the
Oh, really?
yeah, it was like on the wrapping of the mayo. So look out for those, I guess, especially around here, local grocery stores.
Yeah, I hope so. Hey, that's a
Uh,
nice souvenir to have. And apparently, both coaches have agreed to the Mayo bath
if you don't
if they
agree,
win.
don't even play in the bowl.
No,
They should.
you're a scumbag.
I think they should have to ask that before they schedule who plays.
Right, yeah.
It's like,
You
look, if you
shouldn't be
don't,
invited to the
yeah, if you don't
bowl.
want it, you're not invited. You can go play in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. I
Right.
saw I saw that yesterday because my dad went to UConn. I was like, I'll throw it on for a second. They were getting pummeled, so I turned it off. But I didn't
But they're in
realize.
a bowl game
Yeah, they're in a bowl game. And what I didn't realize, I was like, Coastal gets a bowl game? What the hell?
at the beach.
Yeah, but I was making a joke because they're like, I think it was Big Game Boomer was like,
Yeah.
what city needs a bowl game? I was like, Columbia.
Willie B Bowl.
Get the Willie B Bowl going. But that's a better bowl than the freaking Coastal Stadium. The Coastal Stadium's like a
But
high
like,
school
you're
stadium.
not gonna fill up your 80,000 seat stadium
Yeah,
for Marshall and UConn.
no, you have a good point. And it's also you're right. It's not by the beach, which I guess is the one thing that Coastal's got. All right, I'm looking at the Maryland schedule right now. You got St. Peter's, UMBC, Michigan
And
though. Are they
Michigan.
any good?
It'll be tough on the road. They're not very good. They have Hunter Dickinson. Other than that, they're kind of garbage.
All right, so there's chance to regain some steam here. Even Rutgers
Hmm.
coming up. Oh, yeah, Ohio State's not good either, are they?
They're decent. That's the whole Big Ten is the same. They're all good, but they're not that good. It's like so Maryland fits in perfectly, actually.
Oh, sounds right. Oh man, I'm looking at it right now. They are all good, but not that good. They're all like
I mean, Purdue's number
8-3,
one.
7-4.
But
Besides Purdue, yeah, Purdue's 11.
yeah,
No way UConn should be not number one. I just gotta say that their team's good. They're dirty.
have
Alright.
a better win than Purdue does, though.
Say again?
Don't have a win like Purdue does, though. 'Cause Purdue beat Gonzaga.
Oh, that's true.
Con's beaten
They haven't
Florida.
gone up
Oh, they
against
beat
anyone.
Bama. They rolled Bama, actually.
Yeah, but Bama's was what, like 15 at the start of the year?
Yeah, but they were number 4. They're number 5 now.
That's fair enough. At the time,
The
but now they're
the,
number.
the
It looks like they're number
rankings.
9 now. I don't know what the rankings are. I'm looking at the Google rankings that they have next to them. So I don't know if they're number 9 or number 5.
Oh, okay, well now it says 9.
Okay, so I
Good
think they're
stuff.
number 9. God,
Dude,
they
my eyes
scored
don't look.
114 against Long Island. That's brutal. All right, now we're just talking about nonsense. All right, let's wrap this up. Thank you all for listening. Disappointing week football, but luckily we're free. We're free from the clutches of hope, and now we just get to live our lives, Chris. So I guess that's something.
We'll see.
Yeah, I guess it's something. All right, thank you all for listening. Have a good week. We'll see everybody. Oh, definitely not. Oh, actually, no. Yeah, Friday, 23rd. I thought the Friday was
Oh
24th.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, see everybody Friday. So, and well, let's make it Christmas themed. We'll still do our wise picks, but we'll make it Christmas themed for everybody out there. Enjoy the enjoy
Holiday
the week.
themed.
See everybody